just bought something. It's a camera. I'm gonna show it to you. I'll do a quick unboxing. Let's see. Let's get rid of the bag. It's the new Canon EOS 90D. But let's see what's inside the box. So when we open it, let's see here. First thing we see is the manual. I have never opened one of these and I'm not gonna do it now. Then second thing, what do we have? We have the charger. And here it is, the charger. Let's see what's next. Of course, if we have the charger, we have the cord, the cable to connect the charger to the electricity so that we can charge our battery. And here we have the battery. It's a regular battery like we already had for the 60D, 70D, 80D, and now for the 90D. Protection off, and here it is. Then we have a strap. It's really nice. I think I'm gonna use it a little bit, but only when I do photos. Put it here. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the camera, which is the EOS 90D. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and here it is. It looks almost exactly like the 80D. First impression, it doesn't feel too light, it doesn't feel too heavy. The grip feels perfectly in my hand, and it's really nice. And of course, it has the flip screen, which is really good. I mean, I already had it on my Canon M50, and I can't imagine myself filming without it. Seriously, like when I go vlogging, I turn it this way on the GorillaPod and vlog like this, which is awesome. I can actually see myself if I'm in frame, if I'm in focus and everything. Seriously, I don't understand how people can vlog without a flip out screen. Now, I'm going to put the battery inside. Then, memory card. We put it right here. And that's ready to go. Right now I'm filming with the Canon M50 with the 10 to 18 millimeters, which I'm going to put on the new 90D right now. Just give me 1 second. Now using the Canon 90D with the 10 to 18 millimeters at f.5, ISO 640. The lens is like at the more or less 15 millimeters like I had before with the M50. So I guess it's the same settings. The only difference would be that here I'm not using CineStyle as a profile, but I'm using the standard profile. Just modified a little bit, but it's pretty much what you would get straight out of the box. The audio comes straight from the built-in microphone of the camera. Now I'm going to plug the lavalier microphone. Now using the lavalier microphone. So now what? I'm going to wear my sunglasses. I'm gonna put this camera on the Jazzy GorillaPod. I'm gonna plug in the Rode Vita Micro, and we're gonna go for a walk. Wanna come? Let's go. Oh, I went out. It's pretty cold here today, but okay. Let's see, what do we have here with the 10 to 18 millimeters currently using the built-in microphone of the camera, and the stabilization is off, both in the camera and in the lens. I don't know, it might be pretty shaky. So now I'm going to activate the digital stabilization in the camera. stabilization on, just in the camera. Let's see how it goes. If it improves a little bit or not. Here it is. Okay, now both the camera digital stabilization and the stabilization of the lens are working, and I think they do a pretty good job. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. The camera doesn't have a physical in-body stabilization, it's just a digital stabilization. But it seems to work pretty well. Now using the built-in microphone, switching to the Rode Video Micro. Now the audio from the Rode Video Micro. I think it sounds better, even though the internal microphone of this camera is supposed to be really good. I believe that outdoors with the wind and much noise like from traffic, cars and stuff, it's so much better with this Rode Video Micro, or at least that's what I think. So what's really good about this camera? It's 32.5 megapixels, and that's pretty awesome, I should say. Processor Digic 8, which is really powerful. As you probably know, I already have a Canon 90D and I love it. I mean, it's a great camera, but on this camera there are features that are not in the M50. For example, the slow motion at 120 frames per second. On the M50, the resolution is like 720, which is like lame. While on this camera, you can shoot 120 frames per second and get a very smooth and awesome slow motion because you can shoot it at 180. It is really great, even though you lose the dual pixel autofocus and the audio, but that's still a huge upgrade from the 120 frames per second in the Canon 90D. Another great feature is the 4K. While on the M50, when shooting 4K, you get a huge crop, 1.7 I believe, on top of the 1.6, because this is an APS-C sensor. So on the M50, when shooting 4K, you get an extra 1.7 crop, and you lose the dual pixel autofocus. So, I mean, you can still use it, but it's not great. On the Canon 90D, you can shoot 4K using the entire screen, like only the regular 1.6 crop, so no additional crop, or to get even a better quality, more resolution, you can shoot 4K with the crop, which I believe is more concentrated and more powerful, like really nice. Well, so far I haven't tried it. Today I'm just testing the 180, but by the way, these two features, the 120 frames per second at 180 and the 4K with no additional crop, those were the two main reasons why I eventually said what the hell and bought the camera. Another thing worth mentioning is that many people were complaining when this camera first came out about the lack of the ability to shoot 24p, like 24 frames per second. I mean, I know it's a standard for cinema, and so whoever wants to shoot like cinematic videos is supposed to shoot at 24 frames per second. Well, I'm If you saw my previous videos, you know I'm experimenting, so I started shooting like a 24p, but recently I changed to 30, so I can say that the lack of the 24p wasn't really a problem. I mean, I can survive without it, but then Canon released an upgrade for the firmware, which now allows us to shoot 24p with the Canon 90D. And so, I mean, even though, as I said, I could live without it, but if I have it, of course I'm gonna use it. Put on the 24 millimeters, the EFS lens, the pancake. I don't think it's suitable for vlogging because this is kind of tight. This is with my arm fully extended. Another reason why I believe it's not really ideal for vlogging, it's also because of the lack of stabilization. So you rely only on the digital stabilization of the camera, which is, I mean, it's good, but not that good to allow you to use a lens without the stabilization. But if you just put it on a tripod and you put the tripod somewhere so you don't have to hold it in your hand while you walk with it, I think it's fine. I mean, problem solved and you can use it. The only issue remaining is that of the field of view, because this is what you see when you talk in front of the camera with the 24 millimeters on. I mean, we're talking about crop sensor cameras. You will excuse my hairstyle, but it's pretty windy here now.